Hey everybody, Brian here from quantlabs.net. Okay, I'm pretty happy to say I think I got a little mini queue going here, message queue, using Redis. It is very super fast, I must say. I've shown these apps before, and we have a Java app which is retrieving data from interactive brokers with the tick price and some other information. We also have at the other end is our C program that's got some data in it, retrieving it from basically from interactive brokers, and it's doing it via Redis. It does pause a bit for some mysterious reason, but it is fast. And it is pretty stable compared to all the other core dumps that I've seen. So all is good there. So let me show you what it contains. Right now I'm running this bin off of the command line because in code blocks, the IDE that I use for C can be a little unstable, it seems. Okay, so let me stop this process here too. And and then we have the interactive brokers running. I've shown this set of steps before, but there's always new people watching this, so I'm going to delete this interactive brokers TWS, Trader Workstation, and I got to put some more intelligence into this process. So we're going to launch our TWS. We also have our Redis here, the server running. It's version 3.04 and it's listing the 6379 on the port. So I'm going to log into a demo account with Interactive Brokers TWS, edemo user, demo user password, which is all lowercase. Now it's like 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. And I'm running demo mode of the TWS, so it's not very stable, the connection. I'm trying to retrieve EUR, the symbol, from interactive brokers. So once we get this set up, continuous configuration, I go through each and every time I have to set this up. Kind of sucks, but I will have to, as I said, build a more intelligent way of doing this. But for now, I'm just testing out the message queue, which seems to work okay, as the TWS takes its time in loading this puppy. And in the background, we have NetBeans. I've shown this before, which is running this little guy here, real-time data with Redis. I've shown this app before. And let me just see what we got going on here. And here. Okay. Close. Wow. Alright, so we want to go into classic mode. Configure our TWS for the API. On the settings, we want to enable the ActiveX socket clients. Just do this out of habit, read-only API. Okay, so TWS is now ready to accept new connections. Okay, I'm gonna just so we got that stopped. I'm going to now relaunch this app, which will submit or push data from interactive brokers into Redis. Okay, so I'm going to run the file. Off she goes. Now loading in all the, or pushing data into the Redis. So in our code blocks, again, because this is a Java app, yeah, it's a Java app in NetBeans IDE. Okay, so now we are using the C side, which is code blocks, and basically I compiled it in release mode, and as I said, we can definitely run it on the command line, which is right here. So I'm going to relaunch this program here. So off she goes, and she's basically retrieving all the latest data from Interactive Brokers. Now, if you compare the latest prices from Interactive Brokers, we got 811.9, 895, somewhere in there. It's retrieving the last 10. Now, I've run this for up to 20 minutes, half an hour, and it didn't crash. It does dog a bit. Not sure if it's Redis or if it's a slowdown in the submission of, or slowdown of pushing pricing data into Redis. I'll have to further investigate it. But it seems to be a pretty stable message queue. It's working okay. But this is really fast. If I wasn't displaying this, it'd be incredibly fast. Okay, so let me show you some of the changes I had to make in order to do this. Now, in the last couple of videos, I kept mentioning about how I've been getting message blocks, or sorry, data dumps. Now, if you go into my example code where this C file came from, I'm basically using a modified version of this retrieval or pull from Redis. This is from GitHub of the High Redis as an example. So I'm using this modified example C. What I'm really all caring about is just pulling out the L range of EUR. So show that in the code here. Where am I? Okay, yeah, right here. So this is all I'm retrieving. Is the last 10 rows available in Redis for the EUR list. That's what L range is. List range EUR, and then the last 10, and then it prints them out. That's all it's really doing. Now, I used to get a lot of connection errors and all kinds of things. One error I showed before is this looping. Oh, sorry, this connection error cannot assign requested address. I've explained this in the other video, which comes from this URL here, which is essentially saying, yeah, so we got an error, connect Redis, cannot assign requested address. If I'm pushing too much data in, basically what it's saying is you cannot clean up the ports you use as fast as you are creating connections. The solution is not to create a connection for every line, but to reuse a connection or use a connection pool. Even if I use a connection pool, I'll still have the same problem. So what I've done is I'm reusing the connection. I don't like it, but because Redis it's using the port so much that it generates this error. So what I had to do is, as I said, I had to reuse the connection. So what I've done is, not sure if this is smart, but I've made the context of Redis global. Okay, it's global, as well as because it's a Simulink code-generated model from Simulink. There's a terminate and a initiate set of methods. So we have a terminate, and then we have our initialize on the model. So what I did was I put in the connection code into Redis. So that's going to only be run once. Okay. So essentially, what's going to happen is it's going to use that global context to see here, connecting in once because it's going to reuse it and connect into Redis the one time and only the one time. If there's a problem, it'll print something out. So there's only one connection made. That's how I'm able to make it stable and run for so long without that error. And also to terminate, we do a Redis free on the context, meaning it tears down the all the objects associated with that Redis context. So that's how I'm doing it. So essentially, as I said, in the initialize, it will set up one connect for the Redis context, and it will only, when it's done, because it could run infinitely, or infinitely, is that word? And then once it's done, let's say, it will basically free up all those resources, and then it only has to run that once. So essentially all the code that you see here, I call it read Redis, which just gets looping and just retrieves the 10 latest on the list of EUR, and it just does that infinitely. And that's all it really does. And let's see if it's still running. Yeah, it's still running. So it would bomb by now, but it hasn't. So it's pretty stable. So those are the changes I made. So far so good. I can probably say it's pretty stable. I have to do this for each model or strategy that I put out. I'm not a fan of this approach, but you gotta do what you gotta do, right? Anyways, I just thought I'd let you know about that. And again, all the code here is available to my members. All right, later.